What's up? Fifth element. Fifth element say five is they number. That's what's up. Heard that. What's happening, Lakeo? What's happening, Goddess V? Thank y'all for joining in. Oh man, I'm trying to. What's up? What's up, G? What's up, Krishna? Trying to back up with these damn waterhead ass kids won't get out the way. Looking like they done had a steady diet of Kool-Aid mixed with lead. Okay. So what's the day? Thursday? Thursday, June something. Something towards the end of June. It's the 28th or the 29th, one of those two. So let's kick it off. Let's talk about 5 disciplines. First, before I go there, I want to just talk about the best, let's say the best description I ever heard of a witch. And I mean, I'm gonna tie all this in. Just stay with me. Was this little dumpty, uh, fat white woman who lived in some mountain, and I think she was somewhere in Ireland or something. And she was just talking about witchery. And she was saying that the number one thing to it is being attentive, paying attention to your surroundings, paying attention to yourself, just being aware, not just in I'm gonna go straight, not just in words, but just in your everyday life, paying attention to your surroundings. What's going on around me? What's going on in me? So I say all that to say that if now that you have this heightened awareness, one way that it would be good to use it is to now have the knowledge to apply to every moment of your life. See, there, if you go back and look over parts of your life, you're gonna find things where you were getting messages, you were getting all types of things. What's up, Erica? And the problem was not a lack of energy or a lack of potential, it was a lack of awareness. You weren't aware of where you were in a particular cycle because you didn't even know that you went through cycles. Especially for men, and women, we normally think cycles are relegated to a menstrual cycle or maybe just a calendar cycle. But we don't understand that the only thing that exists relative to time is cycles. Time is just markers that are assigned to the real truth of the continuation of cycles. So we try to define them by attaching time or descriptors of time. 2 o'clock is not really 2 o'clock. It is we're trying to describe a state. The sun is in this particular state at 2 p.m. The sun is in this particular state at 2 a.m. So I'm trying to describe it, but the title of 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. is really nothing. It's just like money. What the reason they call it fiat is because there's no backing. So you see what I'm saying? So So paying attention allows you to find yourself where you're at. And if you can locate yourself, it's just like if I'm lost in a city and I can tell somebody I'm at the corner of uh, Cooper Street and Mayfield, then the person will be able to direct you where you need to go because you've now identified where you're at. Paying attention, that's about to be a wreck, about to be another one. Paying attention allows you, is your internal GPS system, allows you to identify where you're at. And if I can first figure out where I'm at, I have a better chance of charting where I want to go. Okay, that whole long 25-minute introduction was to introduce the fact that throughout my life, as I go back and observe things, the number 5 has been following me around. It's been following me for a long time. I remember my 5th birthday party. You know, I remember, pertaining to our conversation though today, I remember my daddy telling me something at a young age. I was a child, and he was passing down something that his mother had taught to him, and it was, you should always be able to do 5 things and do them well. You should always be able to do 5 things and do them well. Now, what's interesting about that is that, again, there's that number 5. Why did she pick? Now, this is my grandmother who had a 6th grade education. So it's not like she was no member of the Theosophical Society and shit. So, why did she pick the number 5? I posit that the spirit of becoming, in Kabbalah, they would call it the Shekinah, or the reason. The reason is the answer. So that's the Shekinah. I believe that part of this hidden, slow release of returning back to divinity has been, as we go back and assess history, we've been getting road marks for us to assess in this time period that we're in, to give us a greater understanding of this whole great mystery. Okay? So when I go back and revisit what my grandmother's saying, it's not that she was conscious in her time of what she was saying and how important it was, how valuable it was. She was unconsciously planting seeds, as a lot of our foremothers and forefathers were doing. They were planting seeds, and they didn't always know that they were planting seeds. They were just doing. Didn't even know that they were under a divine charter. They were just doing according to their nature. Okay? One other historical thing I want to pull out. This is a common historical thing. I want to just bring up something about Booker T. Washington. A lot of people say he was a sellout and this and that, and they have merit in saying that, depending on how they're looking at things. If you're looking at things on a pure physical, mundane, I'm gonna try to quit using mundane so much. That's being overused. Just on a purely physical level, then yeah, we could say that. He was trying to buck dance for the man and all that. But for us who are PhD pursuants, let's look at this differently. Booker T. Washington propagated the importance of working with your hands. Every man pick up his bucket. Now I want you to examine that from a metaphysical standpoint as I lay out for you what the esoteric meaning of your 5 disciplines, or your 5 hustles, even if you want to call it that, your 5 whatevers. Okay? But he said, every man pick up your bucket, use your hands. Your hands. In Star Wars, the master is called Yoda. Yoda from Yod means knowledge. But when you study language, vowels are interchangeable. So the O can become the A, so Yod can become Yod. Now when Yod becomes Yod, as in Yada, we now have hand. Knowledge and hand now are juxtaposed. Now, the way that you know for sure that they're connected is you look at what your hand does. Your hand grasps things. Okay? Sometimes if you want to ask, does a person understand? You say, are you grasping what I'm saying? Are you able to get a hold of this? And we've talked about this. Are you able to wrap your mind? Wrap. Your hands wrap. Are you grasping? So when he's saying pick up your bucket, basically use your hands, that was not for us. I'm talking about us who in this realm of thinking to go back and consider from a historical and we the people and all that shit, because you should be to a point now where you understand there's a greater mystery beyond us just thinking we're going to redefine Black Wall Street. We're supposed to be able to reflect back on Black Wall Street on a metaphysical level for something greater than just to salivate at the thought of us going back to we riding around in 3-piece suits and a horse and buggy. What's up now, all that jazz? You see, we're supposed to be thinking expansion, not trying to contract and regress and trying to relive something. Okay, so with that mindset, you can evaluate Booker T. Washington from a different perspective. Now let's fast forward. My grandmother drills it into my father and his siblings that they need to have 5 things that they can do and do well. My father passes that message on to me. So I sit here at 41 years old, 4 and 1, 5. And, you know, I think about the concept of discipleship and how it coincides, disciple coincides with the word discipline. So then it's like, let's look into the etymology. What we find is that the word discipline in one rendering means to grasp, and it also means to teach. Now hold on now. How am I going to be teaching and learning at the same time? Just embodied in the etymology of that word, we have the Kabbalion, the whole Kabbalion summarized in just the etymology of the word discipline / disciple. Same word. Because it gives you one rendering that says it means to learn, yet it also means to teach. So we could say that in one regard, those things are on 2 ends of the spectrum. They're opposites. One is giving, one is receiving. One is electric, one is magnetic. One is masculine, one is feminine. Okay? But they are showing that it comes from the same origin. Interestingly enough, if you go to the 5th chapter of Genesis, you're going to see reference made to the creation of man, Adam and Eve. But if you read it correctly, well, I'm not going to say correctly, read it slower and maybe from a different perspective, you're going to see something completely different. Because they're going to say that, and made he both of them and called them Adam. Called them Adam. Not him Adam, it was them. Adam is not a name of a person, it's a name of a group of people, or it's a name of a reality. It's also what we call the atom, the atum, the aton, a tone, a sound. All of this wrapped up in that one little title. Adim, adin, as in dentures, also talking about your teeth. So then we know that's telling you that for you to be complete, there has to be a masculine and a feminine intertwined in one. All right, player. So we see that embodied in just the word discipline. You're giving and receiving. You're taking a masculine act and a feminine act because you're learning and teaching. So now, what does all this have to do with anything, Jamal? If I take the time, we talked about passion, I think the last time we had a little chit chat. This is how this stuff lines up. One of the reasons that I need to identify my passion, it don't always have to be so super far out there, like I'm trying to find my divine destiny so that I had to put on my I'm trying to be deep voice. So it goes like I had to raise it up. See, this is the deep. Well, I'm trying to illuminate my throat chakra, or I want to astral travel on the 5th dimension. It don't have to be that. It can be that, but it also can be that if I identify my passion is like a seed. And from that seed can sprout all types of food, vegetation, everything else out of that seed. Okay? So when I identify my passion, it helps open the door for me to find my 5 disciplines. Now, we're in the era of freelance. They got a whole site, I'm sure y'all heard of it, Fiverr, Fiverr. Okay? I'm working with somebody right now off of Fiverr, where people are going on there and they're putting out what they can do, and they're marketing. So hey, if you need this done, I'll start at $5 and up, $10 and up. Take the spiritual aspect out of this. Where we're going collectively, what you always thought of as a traditional job is toss it out the window. They are pimping people, getting them to go to college. Now, I understand. Now, mark what I'm saying. I ain't talking down on college, because I ain't saying that you can't still win going and getting your degree, but your shit got to be thought out. It can't just be, I'm just going to go and get my education, and because all that's going to do is put you in a pool of millions of other people who are just as qualified, if not more, than you. So you got to have something to separate yourself from the pack. Okay? And then you're having to give up so much of yourself in many of these situations that you feel like you don't have nothing left for yourself at the end of the day. They have created the economic system, cost of living, pay scale, everything. It's about controlling energy. Pay you just enough to be able to get you 2 loaves of bread and some damn potted meat, and pay 80% of your rent. And you're going to have to work some overtime to be able to cover. Man, he going crazy. Uh, so you can pay 80% of your rent. Then you're going to have to hustle, maybe do some overtime to get the rest. The most important thing is control your time, control your energy. So to be able to separate yourself some and not be sitting around here with the white mouth, you have to start becoming creative and identifying your 5 disciplines. In the midst of you identifying your passion, which is the seed that will give birth to your 5 disciplines, you are also doing your spiritual work in tandem. You don't have to separate one from the other. Be ye in the world, but not of the world. You know that your divine calling is greater. But to be able to fulfill that, man, my cousin used to tell me, say, it's hard to be on your spiritual path when your stomach is grumbling. Now we can, that's a whole nother conversation. If you want to breathe air and shit, you elevated on your path, good for you. I ain't there. So for y'all who still eating and shit, okay, then we have to be creative. Literally have to think outside of the box in all aspects. In how you evaluate history, how you evaluate metaphysics, how you evaluate health, how you evaluate your money, everything. You have to be open enough to restructure your whole mindset. So those 5 disciplines then, there's a reason we got 5 senses. It's not just to be able to smell better, to see and to touch and taste, and think about the little secrets that are encased inside of these 5 senses. My sight, that means I'm keeping my spiritual eyes open. By me having my spiritual eyes open, you know that the Spirit sets things up for you to be able to get yourself financially in order so that it can be fed what it needs. Remember, the Shekinah is the teacher and the learner. And embedded in that resistance that happens between the pitch and the reception, there is the truth is already there, already hidden in the Shekinah. So you have to see the truth in the Shekinah. Hear, that means you got to pay attention. Hearing, pay attention, be aware. Taste, that means you have to have the ability to digest knowledge and truth when it is put in front of you and fed to you. See, the more aware you become, you start looking back over life and remembering how shit was all around you giving you messages, but you could not eat it. You were still on milk. You weren't ready for solid food. Touch, again, sensation. Touch, talking about the hands. Discipline. Discipline is this. What can I get my hands on? I need to touch it. I need to feel it. My daddy used to always tell me, son, you got to smell it. Smell it is my intuition. That's Anubis. I smell success. I smell it. No, I'm telling you, I'm talking about, it's not rhetorical. I'm telling you, I smell it. I smell it. You know why I smell it? Because now I'm more aware of myself, my surroundings, the whole game. See, success has come to me royally throughout my life, but I wasn't aware. And see, when you ain't aware, shit, stuff just stuff fly right by you. Cause you just hanging on a limb, hanging on a whim. You're not actually the controller. You're the player in the game. Now by being aware, I control the game console now. I got the joystick, or whatever they call them shits now. You see what I'm saying? And I'm working my way to becoming the programmer. Facts. So, what did we cover? We said eyes, ears, taste, touch, smell. We covered everything. Those five senses, for every sense you got, you need to be able to do something excellent. Excellent. Because what's being forced upon us is, to a degree, we're going to have to learn how to barter and trade and market yourself to each other. Yeah, things are terrible, but I'm gonna tell you one of the positive things. The middleman's being forced out. If you play your cards right, you can work around all this middleman shit, and we can go me to you at my cousin say, even swap, no swindle. Okay? If you ain't got the money to go to college, to the young viewers who watch the channel, you got lynda.com, you got a whole bunch of other things. Hell, you got YouTube. You go on YouTube and figure out how to damn change a drive shaft in your truck. YouTube is a search engine, peer to peer. Krishna says, For Low Key says, peer to peer, which is what me and the brother, what we do. And the others in our circle is we get together and we get on the phone and we get on there and tell each other about things, magical things that and maybe it's not always magical. It's just tell us about stuff that we're doing, and man, I figured this out and this worked for me, and you may want to look at this, That go your peer to peer. That's why. Now here's where we go back to the metaphysics. The way that you're developing yourself into something greater and developing your light, guess what you're doing? You're helping to attract the type of people that you need to fuck with on your level to do some things. We're trying to think too romantically. Oh, I'm out here working for my people. Man, you better come up off that dumb shit. Out here working. My people better be the ones like in my house. And then you identify other people who are responsible in their approach to their spirituality and their physical life. And y'all coalesce. Y'all come together and do little things in small little groups. And have your starting five on deck. Man, look at basketball. I'm going to do a breakdown on basketball and Kabbalah, soccer, football, Kabbalah. Man, some of this stuff is not all just foolishness. There's stuff we can pull out of these things. You got 5 people on that court representing the hand. So look, the people who, so just think what the ritual that the owners really are enacting, running when you're the owner of a basketball team. It is 2 hands at battle. They're using game 7. You know the energy that comes up out of a game 7? All the people on Golden State side, all the people on Cleveland or Chicago and LA, that whatever. The energy, and it's all feeding back to that owner who sits up in that box and the other owner, because the energy that's going into the team supports however the owner sees the world. That's what you're cheering for, how the owner views the world, because that person is directly got his hand open and is taking all that energy in, squeezing. That go your 5 players, 5 fingers, that hand. So here's the thing. We got the power because we are now privy to some of this shit. We have the power now just to insert our minds and be more aware of how we're moving in real time. Your 5 disciplines. Go to, oh man, Judges. I want to say chapter 3. The book of Judges, chapter 3, and you're going to see that the Lord or God left 5 nations. 5 nations that would test the children of Israel. 5 nations. Now see, again, change your whole perspective on how you see things. Test means body. So 5 means a whole bunch of shit. We can on a simplest level, 5 senses that were used to imbue the body, but also 5 represents Christ's energy. Christ's energy is talking about actually melanin. When you want to see real melanin discussed in the Bible, here's an example. 5 nations were spared to test the children of Israel. So that means those 5 nations to test means to be put into a body to be tested. God testing itself. You identifying your 5 disciplines is an act of you moving in a forward direction towards your godhood. I don't care if one of your disciplines is mopping a floor. Because if you go down as the best floor mop, somebody got to be the motherfucker who's doing the floor at the Barclays Center or such and such or this and that. And what if you're the person getting the contract to do the floors at all these? You're making a nice coin. So see what I'm saying? Everything ain't got to be super deep. And you don't have to find your passion inside of, oh, am I supposed to be the motherfucker sitting on top of the light pole who's meditating all night, and it don't have to be none of that shit. You were put into a human body to experience human shit. Your godhood is to find God in the shit. Can you find God even if you are mopping the floor? Can you find God in you wiping a baby's ass? Can you find God in cutting your toe? Whatever. Can you find God in that? Or does God have to be wrapped all up in a pretty neat little bow for you? Yeah, I gotta cut this short because he ain't having it. So, this is just a little something. Motivation. This is motivation. Get on your hustle. Take your knowledge and convert this shit. Look, in the era we living in, it's about storage, okay? And it's about conversion. Any aspect you want to look at, it's about storage and conversion. Check this out. What you see going up all over your city, storage units, warehouses, all over big cities. Okay? What do you see now that you're having to pay for online? Storage. I got a video. I want to send it to my people on my website. I got to go to a third party storage or file transfer. So it's about storage and transferring files. Okay? So one thing, you can't be as lazy. You can't be lazy because you have got to be able to store some files yourself. We can do all the talk about the Akasha records. If you ain't getting into them motherfuckers and pulling nothing out, I don't want to hear about that shit. You around here taking shoe polish trying to fix your shoes up and shit. No, you got to pull it out and make the shit practical. And if you ain't tapping in, then don't be egotistical Pick up a motherfucking book and read something. People who read books run the motherfucking world. I'm sorry. You can sit back, and yum yay and all that shit all you want. The motherfuckers who read the books run the world. So if you lazy and you too lazy to do any research, whether it's a book or a PDF or whatever, you gonna lose. Period, point blank. You gonna lose. And even the motherfuckers who might talk down, if that motherfucker's winning, trust me, they getting some information somewhere, but they don't want you to know where they're getting it. Because, hey, it's capitalism. Capital. For me to be the capitalist, I have to be the cap. I got to be the head. So if I'm worried about me remaining the head, I don't need you knowing what I did to get to the head. I need you to stay up under me. It's a pyramid scheme. So I know I'm jumping all around here. What's up, Sean? I'm jumping all around, but this is real shit. Music business, another one. Oh, this is where I wanted to go. I'm glad you brought that up. Because I wasn't going to say nothing specifically about the music business. I want to say this. Whether it's taking the time and investing in studying or reading a book, or even if you got to sit in the library because you ain't got no money, the effort that you apply is monumental. I came up with this acronym. It was, damn, can I even remember it? What was it? It was desire, intent, effort. Yeah. It was DIE, D-I-E. I think it was desire, intent, effort. And then not in no particular order. I had to put it in that order for the work for the acronym. But really it should be intent should be first, desire should be second, and then effort should be third. What are you going to apply to it? There go a triangle again. So that means if everything you do is sloppy, if you don't get nothing else, I don't care if this don't sound deep or metaphysical, it don't matter. I want you to hear what I am saying to you. If everything you do is fucking sloppy, it reflects on how little and how low you feel about your fucking self. If everything you do is fucking sloppy, got holes in it, got leaks in it, what does that say about you? Part of identifying your 5 disciplines is identifying or striving actually for perfection. You are supposed to be, me, all of us, we're supposed to be striving for perfection because you come from perfection. Can y'all hear me? Somebody give me a 1 if you can hear me. Other than this Tasmanian devil behind me. And I need to wrap this up. Okay, bet. So look. Don't be sloppy. Don't halfway do shit. I don't care if it's cleaning up roadkill off the highway. You ought to be the best motherfucker at scraping up guts. Scraping up deer hooves and shit off the highway. Don't do it if you don't plan on doing the shit right. If you're not striving for perfection, don't do it. And don't come talking about your godhood and your divinity and everything you do is fucking sloppy. Because then you saying that whatever this divine source or whatever you're talking about is sloppy. We got to stop giving ourselves cop-outs for being fucking losers. That means you got to invest money in yourself. You see what I'm saying? You got to invest some money. You got to be willing to suffer to be great. I'm sorry to sound like some Les Brown shit, but fuck it. The truth is the truth. It don't matter where it come from. The truth is the truth, man. Sometimes we can handicap ourselves by copping out about, oh, I don't have to do it that way because I'm chaos and this. Man, fuck all that motherfucking shit. You'd be the first one talking shit, somebody give you some subpar shit and you done paid your money for it. Being the observer is being able to step aside and see yourself and critique yourself. And you got to have somebody real around you who you respect enough to accept their critique. And this ain't getting nowhere off of my subject because this is still perfecting your grip. You see this? Your grip. Your grip is what it's about. Back in the day we used to call it a grip. You know, you want this is how you want your pocket to be able to look. You know, when you wearing your pair of jeans, you want a person to be able to look at your pocket and see that this nigga got a grip. A grip. I mean, I got a strong hold on this shit. I don't want no weak ass hold. I don't want no old weak. That's why I hate a person shake my hand with a weak ass motherfucking handshake. Grip my motherfucking hand. Don't shake my fucking fingers. Shake my goddamn hand like a man. Your grip. Get a grip. Get a grip on all your shit. I'm constantly working on getting a grip on. Don't trust me. Don't take this shit as though like this some nigga who I've got it together. I'm every. No, I ain't that dude. I'm the teacher and the learner. The way the ancients said it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to forever be learning. So the same way I go back and listen to these videos myself. I need these motherfuckers. I need it to get my ass back on track sometime. So, you know, I'm gonna tell you something. I just know it's on right now. It's on. It's on. It's on, man. And be mindful of your thoughts. Be mindful of what you say. There's a lot of aggressive energy in the air. You know, I know Mars is in retrograde, I think. And so expect people to be a lot more aggressive, but don't focus on that. You focus on you being on the you being the vessel that you are. Erica said that shit make my hand. Yeah, it feels like you've been raped. They raped your fingers shaking your hand like that. Focus on your vessel and make it a powerful ship. Okay? Exactly, it does. The way a person shakes hands, the way a person conducts themselves. If a person does not show the ability to make improvements, it says a lot about them. Not being able to make improvements is a form of retardation. You should not do something over and over and not get better at it. That's another one. Orion. Yeah, eye contact. Exactly. Eye contact. Oh man. I think whatever for my old man. Because it was firm handshake, Look the man in his eyes. Firm handshake, look the man in his eyes. And I remember as being a little boy and looking down at the floor and shaking one man we called Colonel T. Colonel T ran the ROTC at the high school. I remember shaking his hand, and my dad's like, boy, lift that head up. Look him in his eye, you know. So yes, sir, for sure. Not looking a man or woman in the eye, and this is unisex. Not looking a person in the eye, that's, you know, says a lot. And for you men, you can learn a lot. Well, maybe that's another subject. A lot of people could sharpen their game up if they understood the game of eye contact. A lot of people, you can save yourself a lot of wasted energy by understanding how to read eye contact, knowing when somebody's lying and knowing somebody's actually interested in you, you know, and don't play. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, you know. But anyway, that's another subject. But hey, I hope this has been helpful. I know I'm all over the place. That's how it be. Get your 5 disciplines in order. Plant your seeds. Water your garden. And watch your vegetation grow. This is Brother Jamal, mastersofthecosmos.com, reminding you to stay down until you get up. And when you get up, stay down. Peace.